everybody, it is Nicole from iiKiui, and today I have an Elemental Ladies video for you guys. So it's been quite a while since I uploaded the Air Elemental, and like I said in that video, I'm going to be doing electricity today. Originally, I was going to include electricity in the first set when I released my prints, but I decided not to after completing the drawing. I felt like electricity didn't really fit, especially after I finished it. It didn't seem like it went with the other ones. I had placed electricity, air, and earth together because I can't find water and fire, but I placed them next to each other and it just seemed like it was separate, so I'm going to include it in the next set. I'm not sure what that's going to include, but it'll probably be a set of 4 or 5. Now for the drawing. I had sketched a couple of poses before, and it was kind of difficult for me to think of a pose. If you haven't noticed already, in my Elemental Lady videos, the pose usually stops around mid-thigh or the end of the thighs, and I wanted to keep that consistent, so I wanted to make sure that the pose and the proportions would fit inside the paper that I'm drawing on. I was having a little bit of difficulty with the arms. I felt like they were unproportionate to her head and her body, so there was a lot of erasing and redoing in that part. I also found that the hands were a little bit of a struggle, not to draw them, but to get the proportions right, because the frontal hand seemed to be a lot bigger than it should be, I guess, and it was bigger than her face, so I decided to shrink that down. Now when I got to the coloring, I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do, and I know I wanted to include blue and white just because if you look up the word electricity on Google, there's a lot of blue and white. Now I use watercolor, and I know that I couldn't get a neon finish to it because with watercolor you can't really do neon. But when I digitize it, it'll probably be more obvious that it's electricity. So I started off giving her blue skin, and the reason for this was just because I thought that it would be cool to give her a different skin tone than just normal skin tone, considering that she's a personification of electricity. She doesn't need to be a human, so I decided to do something kind of more on the energy side of things. I was shading in some of the skin to make it seem like the orb or the electricity was generated from her fingers where they touched, but I don't think I did that very successfully. The light didn't really read as much as I wanted it to, but I kind of tried to fix that in the end. Didn't really work all too much, but you learn from your mistakes. I tried to make these little electric bolts, I guess, coming out from there, but they didn't really look like it to me, so I decided to cover up the back and the background with a darker color. Originally I wanted it to be black, but the watercolors didn't really make it black enough. It only looked gray, so I mixed it with a dark blue, but I couldn't get a consistent color, so I decided to go for the dark blue instead. I think in the digital version I might do black because it will make it pop more. I also decided to add in some purples or like a bluish violet into her skin tone to give it more dimension and to show like a little bit more darkness on one side than the other. Maybe have the lighting effect a little bit stronger. The main thing that I wanted to focus on in this drawing was using a white gel pen, and the reason for this was because I thought that it would really bring out the picture and make it pop and separate it from the background and separate it from all the blues. Now for the lines on her body, I decided to make it like technology because we need electricity in order to use technology in order to run it. So I gave her kind of like those typical technical lines, I guess, and she's wearing like a white halter top and a white skirt. And it's supposed to like blend into it, but I ended up going crazy with the pen and making it everywhere. And then for her hands, I decided to put the lines to her fingers and then like fade out into her arm as if the energy is surging into her hand, which is where the origin of the electricity is being made. I also really enjoyed doing her hair because it gave me the chance to make it more textured and less blocky, and also gave me a chance to make it kind of look like it's staticky because of its electricity. The main thing that I don't really like about this piece is that I feel like it would read as snow or ice if, you know, you didn't see the details or if you didn't know the story and the process behind it. I feel like the colors make it seem like it's less electricity and more towards snow, and perhaps it's because people think that electricity has to be yellow, like lightning, but I am planning to do a lightning in my beautiful disaster, so I wanted to differentiate the two. I'm also quite inexperienced in drawing electricity, so it doesn't really read as electricity, and I think that's something I really need to improve on. I might make another version in the future, I'm not really sure, but overall I do like this picture. The only downside is I don't think that it's automatically assumed to be electricity. Like, you have to hear what I have to say about it in order to know that it's electricity. However, I still really like the end result, and I hope you guys like it too. I'll have another Elemental Ladies video up soon. There's probably going to be about one a month or so. I have lots of suggestions already, so this series is probably not going to end anytime soon. So with that, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!